two new additions this week. One I believe I'm going to put in over here. Alright, over here on this corner I'm going to probably remove the ice rink. I have in its original box a 586 Wayside Station. So let's open this up out of the box. I'm sure it is used, but it's in very good condition. And let's see if it'll come out. There we go. So here's our relatively clean Wayside Station. These do get bent up a little bit, and this one's got a little bit of paint loss, so it's definitely not in perfect shape. It probably needs a little bit of cleaning. Here we go. Got our wiring here. I think that's a perfect spot for it. I also have the wagon for it. I do not have the people. So I will hook that up and a little bit later and get the lights glowing on that. The next item will be probably right out in front. And that is this guy here. This has to be installed on straight track because it's a trackside accessory. This one I won't get operating this week. I'm just going to set it kind of where I think it's going to go. But this is another addition to my accessories layout. This is the baggage platform for loading baggage. It's got, there's no baggage for it, and the little man, poor guy, both his legs are broke off, and I think both his hands are broke off too, or at least the one of them. So this man is actually what operates the little gate here at the end. So I'm going to have to secure him back onto this platform so he can hold the gate up and it doesn't run over my trains. So I think this guy, I'm going to move this brick road, and this is going to go closer to the town. And then there's only so many places I can put things on the straight track because the way this is set up, the Christmas tree is actually set on a piece of pink foam board, and that ends right here. So the track actually goes up and down, and the rest of it's just right on the carpet, which is protected by this fancy striped sheet over there. So what I'm thinking is this is going to sit right here on the edge of this piece of foam. And install it like so. I might move it a little bit so that it sits properly on there. And then I'm going to boost up this track over here because there's nothing underneath it. That's also why I'm using my 287 locomotive, because it's very lightweight. With the heavier locomotives, they would pound the rails, and because I don't have the track locks installed currently, the heavier locomotives would separate the track and cause derailments. Alright, but I'm curious to see if this locomotive will actually crash into this platform like the Guilford Station. See if I can get this feller. I may end up just using a small piece of tape to hold that gate up for the moment. That worked pretty good. Okay, the Wayside Station is hooked up, and the next thing I'm going to do now is to glue the little man onto the baggage platform here. I've got my tester's plastic glue, and I'm going to carefully apply some to the bottom of his feet and then set him in place, and don't touch it, otherwise it'll fall off. I wiped off most of the crud that was on it. To do a proper cleaning, I would have to take it all the way apart, and I'm not going to do that right now. Whoa. Way too much glue. Okay, Bob here has been glued back in place. I'm using a piece of gaffer's tape to hold him down so that he doesn't fall off, because while the glue is still wet, he could tip over and that wouldn't work. So this tape is actually synthetic adhesive tape, and it does not leave residue like duct tape. I'm doing the same thing over here just to keep the tension off the rope so that A, the trains can pass, and B, it doesn't pull him off the little base he's glued to. think the next thing I'm going to do is see if I can get this crane apart off the 612 station so that I can bend it straight, because the base of the crane goes up toward the back, and so it sits at a funny angle. I think what I'm going to have to do is take the station top off and then tip it up like so. I might not be able to. This is riveted in place. By the way, the date on this is July 19th of 1949. Well, I determined that the only way to get this crane apart far enough to restore it is to drill out the rivets on the bottom. So there's one rivet here and then one in the back, and those two go all the way through the base, and then there's a third rivet to get the crane off of the green part of the base. I did get it to operate a lot more smoothly though by straightening out the cab walls, and then I oiled the crank and the screw, and then the part that goes up and down. So now it doesn't grind, it just goes much more smoothly like it's supposed to. The baggage platform, I'm still waiting for him to dry, and unfortunately I probably won't be hooking this up either because, well, I don't have any pieces of baggage, although I could make some, and I have the car that goes with it, but as you can see, this car is not in working condition. It's missing both of its couplers, and the mechanism inside will need to be pulled apart and repaired, and that is not a 5-minute job. I'm just going to get as much working as I can before Christmas. That's the goal. Alright, I'm going to move this and I'll operate the train a little bit.